Hey everybody, welcome to Brain Better. Today, we're going to share with you the 7 secrets of how successful people manage their time. Make sure to watch until the end of the video if you want to find out all the 7 secrets. Also, if you learned something from this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel so that we can continue to provide more values to you through our videos. Now, let's get straight into our topic today, the 7 secrets of how successful people manage their time. Time is indeed the most valuable asset we don't own. Once we lose it, we'll never get it back. Everyone gets 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. No one gets more or less. It's an equal playing field. But how do some people accomplish more in a day compared to others? Why do they seem to have more time while others never seem to have enough time? Well, the secret lies with how they manage their time. Time management is about using our time effectively, efficiently, and productively. Once we master the secret of time management, not only are we able to get more done with less amount of time, more importantly, it can also help us live a more balanced and less stressful life. So, back to the question, how exactly do successful people manage their time? Here are their secrets. Number 1. Start your day early. Most of the successful business leaders start their day no later than 7 a.m. Well, it's pretty obvious that if we wake up early, we get a couple of hours more than someone who wakes up at 10 o'clock. But that's not all of it. The first hour is the most important time of the day. It sets the tone for everything that follows. If we wake up late, we'll be in a hurry. We might miss our breakfast and the rest of the day will most likely get pretty messy. Therefore, the secret does not lie only in the timing itself, but how we spend the first few hours in the morning plays an equally important role in our success. Should we spend the first hour in the morning checking emails, attending to messages, or scrolling through news? The answer is yes, you can. But there's a better option for you. The first hour is the most important and powerful time of the day. Use the first few hours in the morning to invest in yourself instead by strengthening your mind, body, and spirit. You can start the day by doing devotion, meditation, positive affirmation, or even some physical workout. Whatever it is, use the most powerful hour of the day for the most important thing. Number 2. Set priorities and goals before you start the day. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Well, this quote by Benjamin Franklin is definitely no stranger to all of us. If we don't plan our day before we start one, most likely we will barely accomplish anything by the end of the day. On the contrary, setting realistic goals for the day gives us a clear direction and creates a sense of urgency in us to achieve those goals by the end of the day. It keeps us focused and helps us to stay on track while increasing our overall productivity. We can even give ourselves a little reward once we achieve all our goals set for the day as a positive reinforcement to keep ourselves motivated. Bear in mind that when we set goals, it has to be realistic and achievable. Otherwise, we will only fall into the trap of hustle culture, which is not sustainable in the long run. As for sorting out our priorities, we can follow the powerful Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. According to the Pareto principle, 80% of the results are produced from 20% of work most of the time. Therefore, identify your most important 20% of work that brings the 80% results you desire and focus on these 20%. Some people also batch their work into theme days to reduce the time spent on task switching. For example, they categorize their days into focus days, buffer days, and free days. Focus days will be spent on doing the most important tasks or business activities. Buffer days will be spent on doing administrative tasks, while free days to rest and recharge. Secret number 3, set aside a time to attend to your messages. Most of the time when we reply to messages, we're actually attending to someone else's needs. Well, of course, it does not mean that others' needs are not important. But if we spend every single minute for everyone else, how are we going to have time for ourselves? How are we going to have time for all the important things in our lives? Therefore, one of the easiest ways to avoid ourselves getting distracted is to turn off the notifications of our messaging app when we want to focus on something. Well, maybe for certain people, they need to keep their notifications on just in case they receive any urgent messages from others. But please know that even if you need to keep your notifications on, you don't have to reply to every single message immediately, unless it's really urgent. Instead, set a fixed period to attend to all those messages. For example, you can fix a period of 2 hours, or even every hour, depending on your needs. But the point is to set aside time for it so that you don't end up spending the whole day attending to messages. Number 4, say no to things that don't bring you closer to your goals. Let's take a look at our daily routines and activities. Is there any habit or activity that doesn't really serve our goals? If yes, it's time to give up on all those things. Well, we certainly don't have to cut them off from our lives right away, but we can start by reducing the frequency of those habits or activities gradually. Let's learn to say no to things that don't serve our goals. Sometimes, those things can also be people around us. It's important for us to know that we don't have to say yes all the time. Set a clear boundary and learn to say no if those things don't align with our values and neither do they serve our goals. Because every time we say yes to something, we are actually saying no to another thing. And that other thing may be our future or our loved ones. Number 5, use meetings as the last resort. Meetings, especially long meetings, can be really mentally taxing and unproductive. Therefore, instead of using meetings as a first option for communication, try all other possible forms of communication first and make meetings the last resort. And if you really have no choice but to hold a meeting, make sure to have a clear agenda, a timekeeper to make sure all agendas follow the time allocated for it, and include only those who really need to be there. Number 6, quantify the value of your time. Alright, let's do some mathematics here. Say you're currently making $20,000 a month, there are 4 weeks in a month, and you work 40 hours a week. What is the value of your time? Or in other words, how much are you worth per hour? Well, the answer is pretty easy. We can divide $20,000 by 4 weeks followed by 40 hours and we'll get $125 per hour, which means our hourly rate is $125. So the next question is what we do on a daily basis worth $125 an hour? For example, we need to spend 2 hours cleaning our house every week. The cost of hiring a cleaner is $20 per hour. Therefore, if we were to spend 2 hours doing the cleaning on our own to avoid spending the $40 hiring a cleaner, we are actually not saving the $40. Instead, we are wasting $210 or probably even more because we could have used those time to do things that can generate income that is equivalent to our hourly rate, or we could have even used those time to invest in ourselves to increase the value of our time. Number 7, learn to delegate. One of the most common reasons why people find it hard to delegate is the urge of being in control. They fear that once they delegate, things might not meet their expectations. It will not be perfect. They feel like they're the only ones who can get the task done perfectly. In other words, they don't trust the ability of their people. Even if they really manage to delegate, they will still want to micromanage the other person, which is taking up just as much time as if they were to do it themselves. Well, if you find it hard to delegate because of the reason above, remember the Pareto principle we mentioned earlier. Most of the time, 80% of the outcomes are contributed by 20% input. Therefore, focus on this 20% instead and delegate the rest to others. Now that we've covered all 7 secrets of how successful people manage their time, check out this playlist of our videos that cover other topics related to leadership. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on all these value-packed videos on mindset, psychology, relationships, and so much more. See you in the next video. Bye!